Yeah, this is live prep here. What I'm doing is I'm doing a two-part series here. One of the articles here, this part was talking about eliminating 1/3 of the human race to save civilization. Part 2 talks about the decline of the human race because of the birth rates going down and people's fear. This one here was from The Onion. I don't know if some of y'all seen this. It says, scientists, look, 1/3 of the human race has to die for civilization to survive. So here you go right here. This here was a 2012 article, of course. So, and it's in Washington, saying there's no way around it at this point. A collection of scientists, well, of all these scientists talking, announced Thursday that 1/3 of the world population must die to prevent wide-scale depletion of the planet's resources, and that humankind needs to figure out immediately how it wants to go about killing off more than 2 billion members of its species. Ain't that something? Now, this here was printed on January the 26th, 2012. It was volume 48, issue 4 of The Onion thing. So this in here is a few years old. But nevertheless, there is people who still feels that needs to be done. So, it says represent multiple fields of studies, including which is not even going all that BS stuff. Says choose how they want to die, themselves, or there can be some sort of government mandate liquidation program. But either way, people have to start dying. Ain't that something? One thing even consider themselves as being among. Oh, well, they might think themselves important. So on that part is considering themselves dying. So, I wonder who gets excluded from it. And soon the scientists confirm, I'm just going to level with you. The Earth's carrying capability will no longer be able to keep up with the population growth. And civilization will end unless large swathes of human beings are killed. So the question is, how do we want to do this? Now this is talking about by the year 2025. So that's 10 years from now. We're going to have to get rid of a bunch of people. You know, how are we going to do this? Cambridge University says, do we want to give everyone a number and implement a death lottery system? You know, they've done movies about that and books talk about it. Give everyone a shotgun, let them sort it out among themselves. You know that purge thing where they once a year they do it. No law, everybody locks themselves up. They purge out, they get rid of a lot of people. Possibility. It's completely up to you, he added, explaining he and his colleagues were open to whatever. Unfortunately, we are well past the point of controlling overpopulation through education, birth control, and the empowerment of women. In fact, we should probably kill 300 million women right off the bat. 300 million women right off the bat. So, that means all these women that's not had children? Or does this mean the women that's already had 2 children, let's say? That's a loaded question, ain't it? Because the world population may double by the end of the century, and an outcome that will lead to considerable disease and availability of food, land, and water. Man, we're already having that problem. What are you talking about? Some countries are dying, starving to death. We got it here in our own country, in the United States. There's a lot of people still going to bed with their bellies empty, saying they can't get food stamps because they make too much money. But the cost of keeping your car going, the cost of your job, cost of getting sick, you get sick. You're set back for weeks. I mean, you go in there, your paycheck's gone. You know, shoot. And the bottom line is a hell of a lot of people choose to die willingly, the advantage being that these volunteers could decide for themselves whether they wish to die slowly, quickly, painfully, or peacefully. You know what? If you want to do that thing, I'm going to tell you what, Mr. Government or all y'all, if you want volunteers, tell them this. We'll pay you $100,000 to whoever you want it to go to be a volunteer. Now, you don't get that family member doesn't get the $100,000 until you are dead. Dead. Gone. Nothing but back to dust, being cremated or whatever it is. you're dead. And then whoever it is you want the $100,000 left to, whether you want to leave it 50 to 1 or 50 another, then we'll give it to you. Volunteer. You know, if you've seen that Purge where this guy got paid $100,000, his family would get $100,000 so these rich people could sit there and just kill him. You know, just do the purge. The scientists know that in order to stop the destruction of global environment systems in heavily populated regions, there is no avoiding the reality that half the world will have to be sterilized. I'm going to tell you what. A lot of people now, most countries, are going down to about 2 children. But there is countries that's continually having 5 to 6 or 7 children, and in those countries are the ones that are dying the worst. Their children are starving to death. Most of them don't even make it to adulthood. Their life is bad because they have no Social Security or anything to fall back on. They are counting on those kids that do make it to take care of them in their old age. So they keep having all these kids that's not even making it past. A lot of them don't even make it past 2 or 3 years. Some don't even make it past out of the diapers. I mean, a lot of them's dying, and these people keep having them, and most of them dying. Why keep having these children when you know most of them's going to die? Do you enjoy watching that child starve to death, and there you are pregnant with another one because you're hoping this one's going to make it to take care of you? Get real. The longer wait, the higher the number of people who will have to die. So we might as well just get it over with. Ain't that something? You know, it's University leading appropriation of the worldwide death day in which 2.3 billion people will kill themselves in masses at the exact same time. At this point, it's merely a question of conditions, of course. You know, blah, blah, blah stuff. We can get the population of New York City, Los Angeles, Beijing, India, Europe, and Latin America to volunteer themselves off at 6 p.m. Eastern on June 1st. We can kill the people that need to be killed, and the planet can finally start renewing itself. I think something. Now, you notice this is named off. New York City, y'all gone. Whole New York City, we're going to clean you out. Los Angeles, you're gone. We're going to clean you out. And we're going to fall in the ocean in a few years. Beijing, India, you're gone. Ain't that something? Europe and Latin America to volunteer themselves off at 6 p.m. Ain't that something? Wow. Just decide all at once. Everybody's going to die at the same time. Mass graves. What are you going to do? Just throw them in pits and burn all the remains? You're not even going to give the family a chance to grieve? Wow. Thus far, humanity has presented a great variety of death options. Look here. Poison in the water, world water supply. Picking one person per household to be killed in the privacy of his or her home. Mass beheading and gathering 2.3 billion people all in one place. And obliterating with them hydrogen bomb. Kaboom! Boom! Bam! You're gone. Sources confirm that if a death solution is not in place by March the 31st, the UN, in the interest of preserving the human race, will mobilize its peacekeeping forces and gun down as many people as necessary. It makes you wonder if the UN does not, this could be true. The UN could already have this doomsday scenario in plan. Maybe that's the reason they're doing some of these wars on purpose, to try to reduce the population. Or maybe it's just trying to make some money. Who knows? I don't care how it happens, but a ton of Africans have to go. Because by 2025, there's no way that continent will be able to feed itself. And it said the Population Research Institute, and I'm leaving out the name of these doctors for a reason. But, because this is just an article here. So you can go to Onion. It's called The Onion if you want to pull up the article and get the names yourself. I'm leaving the names out because I really don't want to get in trouble, because they could be calling back and trying to sue me or whatever. So if you want to find out about it, it's on The Onion about the human population situation. And I gave you the date and everything. So, and by May, it's about 3 babies have to die for every situation, because their longer life expectancy means babies have the potential to release far more greenhouse gases going forward. Greenhouse gases. You know what it's talking about? Farting. Do you know every time a cow farts, they release greenhouse gases? Oh my goodness. Can you imagine the size of an elephant fart? Greenhouse gases. We are releasing greenhouse gases. And yes, the African countries are overpopulating. They are still having 5 to 6 or 7 children, but so many of them are not even making. And many of the adults are dying from AIDS and other diseases. And the grandparents are taking care of the children because the parents are dead. I mean, it's just, you got to see all that. I mean, it's just bottom line. And the living conditions is terrible for them. So they depend on these children to take care of them. That's why they keep having them, even though they know half of them's not even going to make it. They still keep having them. But the adults are dying, and the kids are left with each other to take care of. You got a 12-year-old girl taking care of kids younger than her because her parents are dead. So how's that solving anything? It said what the majority of the world population report understands this is the only opportunity left to save civilization. Not all members of the human race are eager to die. Of course not. Are you going to stand up there and you're going to let them offer you just to save the human race? I'm going to tell you what, they're going to have to pay me some money. I'm going to tell you, they would have more people come up and volunteer if you offer them $100,000. A life insurance policy is guaranteed to go to families and stuff, whatever, because you would have a father, you would have a mother, you would have grandparents, you would have them stepping up and making sure their family is taken care of, because that would be the only way to get them out of poverty. It says, a person would rather live, but taking the long view, I can see how ensuring the survival of humanity is the best. I guess if we are to do it over again, it would make sense to do a better job conserving the Earth's finite resources. And he's right about a lot of these countries just really, really just strip every ounce of it. You know, it's talking about the Earth population is going to double, but you know, this here is it's a lot to think about. You see the movies, you see them talking about, you hear people talking about the possibility of a virus outbreak. It's going to happen. These people are going to release these viruses to get rid of a lot of the human race and all this stuff. The sad thing is there is a lot of people out there who has really destroyed the nature and wasted the land. But there's also people out there who's fighting to save the earth and the planets and the animals and to go green. You'll find a lot more people are starting to take more consideration about things and going green than they used to because of all the chemical stuff. So who do you choose? Do you sit here and say, okay, we're going to get rid of all the old people that's 80 years or older. They're gone. Got to get rid of them because they're living longer and they're taking up space. And the government is sending them Social Security money. We can save a lot of money by getting rid of them. What about these people in prison? Let's get rid of all the murderers. They're gone. How about the pedophiles? They're all gone. And the rapists? They're gone. Okay, how about drug dealers? So so they can sit there and go buy things. What about people who are born mentally handicapped with Down syndrome and autism and other disorders like that, whose parents was druggies, they was born with addiction to cocaine or meth or whatever. Kids who was born with from parents who was alcoholics, and it messed them up. How about them? Are we going to kill all of them? What about people who lost a leg or an arm or whatever, amputees? Well, they're kind of, why not put them on the list? What about these people in mental institutions? Who do you decide it? Well, they're taking up space. Got a lot of crazy people in the states hospital. Ones in the private hospitals are all done by the rich people. We'll just look at the ones in the state hospital. They're gone. So there's a big list possibility. Okay, you're talking about getting rid of 300 million women right off the bat. Do we get rid of those before they have children? So a lot of them wait until their 20s now to have children. Some of them later than that. So you've got a daughter that's 21, 22, or whatever. She's going to college. She's trying to better herself. and they come to your door and they're knocking and says, your daughter's gone. She's on the list. We're getting rid of her. She's gone. Or they're coming to your house and they're saying, we got 3 daughters. 2 of them's going to have to be sterilized. You got a choice. You either sterilize 2 of your daughters, or we're going to take one, and they're going to be killed. They're going to be put in the thing. Now this here is from 2012, like I said. You can look it up. It's in the Onion. This here was from a few years ago. This is just part 1 of how some people actually do feel about it. It's from the Onion. It's January the 26th, 2012, volume 48, issue 4, in Science and Technology, our annual 2012 one. If you want to look at and read it just more in detail and look at what some of the doctors have to say. Now, this is part 1 of what they're saying. This is going to be part 2 here. As you can see, this is going to be part 2, and this one is dated February the 17th, 2015. So this is Live Prepper here. Check my Facebook out on World of Joan. Join me on some of my Joan series and my How to Do. Be safe, be happy. Bless you all.